Hi, welcome to Z2Z Podcast. This is another episode where we bring amazing guests in to help you, aspiring entrepreneurs and existing franchisees, to be successful in your business. So today I have a special guest, Chris Coulson. He is the CEO of Coulson Technologies. So how about Chris? Introduce yourself and what do you do in your company?
Hi, and thanks for having me. My name is Chris Colson. I am the owner and operator of Coulson Technologies. I've been in business for 21 years, but I've been playing with technology ever since the early dial-up days. I have an old dial-up modem here from back in the late 80s when we're hooking up businesses that we don't have to deal with anymore. And I continue helping business owners understand technology, integrate their technology into their business, and make them more profitable, make them able to do more stuff in less time.
Love it. And today's show, I want to bring Chris on because we hear about IT, we hear about AI. It throws around like just spaghetti on the wall. And I really want for business owners to understand what is AI, because some people are using it, like ChatGPT is probably all they know. Just really tips, things, tricks people need to consider as business owners and how to stay ahead of the competition. So with that, let's go. What is the trend in AI? Especially I've heard the word AI SEO, where you can get your business show up on ChatGPT, for example, or on those instead of Google search. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and what we need to know as business owners?
Sure. On AI SEO, you want to make sure that your information is easily accessible, meaning that in the earlier days, we talked about meta tags. We talked about keywords, keyword placements, like if you're in a certain county, making sure that you list the county multiple times, and then making sure that you're listing it so that AI can be searched on that. ChatGPT, for instance, has something where you can put a request in on their form and that will come index your website, just like Google did in the early days. In the early days, you filled out a form and said, go index this website, add it to your database. So there are forms inside of ChatGPT and some of these AI engines. If it hasn't already searched your website, you can actually go there, have them fill out or have you fill out the form, say, go index my website, and allow it to be available for public searches. Because I know for a fact that most people today that are using AI are using less and less of Google because of the results. They don't want to go to a search page and look for a page and then have to go back and redo search. Now, Google has recently put Gemini into it, so the landscape is continually evolving. So what I'm telling you today might change tomorrow, but go onto your website, make sure that these AI engines are able to index it, and you're giving them permission to use that in their databases.
Yeah. And for those who are mostly like non-techie, like myself, I'm not a tech background at all. What are something they can do to quote show favorable in like the AI world, like the search? Is that someone they have to hire out to do, or is there certain thing that they can do themselves to make themselves look competitive?
Well, there's a trick to that. So the first thing is start talking to the AI. Start asking it questions about your business. Start feeding it information about your business and say, my business is Coulson Technologies based in this place. This is my customer base. Start building your profile around it as you're talking to your selected AI. I'll back up a second. We're talking about AI. AI is Gemini, is ChatGPT, is Grok, is Perplexity. These are names to different AI engines that many manufacturers or companies would have. Each one is a little bit different. So what you do with ChatGPT, go over and do it on Gemini. Go over and do it on Grok and Perplexity and these other ones. Each one has different versions of their own database that don't share information to each other. So make sure that what we're talking about here, you use on all of those platforms.
No, that's great. And then I guess once you put your information in, like for me, I'll put ongoing franchise business broker. I help to serve people who want to get into business, especially franchise, and then just put all my, I guess, social media links. And that's where I start to learn about it. And then when people start searching, I may come up. Is that how it works?
It may come up. And here's the trick. AI is just basically programs and algorithms. So what better way to ask how to get more search results than to ask AI how to get more search results?
Okay, I like that. So like go to ChatGPT and say, give us like a simple prompt for those that are not, again, I'm talking to audience that may not have any experience with AI or prompt engineering.
So let's back up. What is a prompt? Let's hit that first. So in the earlier days, there was you have Google and you have this little blinking cursor. You typed in your search query, like, why is the sky blue? It would come up with a list of results. You click on a link and you'd go to an article and you'd read somebody's blog article about why is the sky blue. Then you'd be able to click on links and go other places. The conversation ended with that first search result that Google gave you. What prompting is and what AI is it's a way to have a natural conversation. Like you and I are having a conversation where we're asking questions and talking back and forth. It is a way for you to put in a search query and ask it questions that can be then asked more questions about afterwards. What prompting is, it's a way to tell the AI system to act as a, say for instance, on your example earlier with marketing, act as a copywriter and a great marketing strategist. Give me some tips, copy your link of your website in, give me some tips on how I can actually get better search results for this particular industry. So in IT, I focus on architects and engineers and construction. So I say, here's a prompt example: act as a marketing and copywriter strategist. Go to this website and pull information from my website and write me a copy for social media. I would say so for Facebook or for Twitter. And Twitter has a character limit of 120 characters. I want you to include a compelling title. You can even say make it a viral title, and it uses things that have been viral in the past to make something else like that. And then also give me descriptions with hashtags. So not only will it pull information from my website, but it'll create a title, hashtag, and everything I need for a social media post. And now it could even create an image or a picture along with that. So if you say, create me a curious thumbnail or a curious image to go along with this article, it'll actually put all that stuff together. So all you have to do is copy and paste it over into the social media platform. That's how you prompt it. And here's where the rubber meets the road. If it's not right, ask it to fix something. It's not like Google, you have to start all over. You can say, well, I don't like the background, make it clear, or make it blue, or make them smile, make two people happy and talking to each other. So you can interact with it. You can also say, instead of just making it for YouTube, make it for Facebook, make it for TikTok, for Instagram, or do it all together. Say, make me 5 social media posts, one for each one of these platforms, and it will spit it out. And then the last tip that I'm going to give you on this one, or at least just on this part of the conversation, and here's what a lot of people don't know: ask it to create you a prompt to get you to the same result faster, and then copy and paste that into some notepad somewhere. So now you have a prompt that you can go back and reproduce. And you want to see some tricks, is put it in different AI engines, put it in Gemini, put it in ChatGPT, put it in Grok, see what its results are. You might like one over the other just based on what its current data set is or what it's been trained on.
Love it. Yeah. And I think just like act as, you basically give a command, and the more specific you are, the better results. Because if you're being very general or generic, it would just give you kind of like the generic things that pulls out. But you say, hey, this is my template. And this is what I do for my social media. I was like, people love stories and hook, right? I was like, please, show me or act as a brand strategist for Facebook, because that's where I post a lot. Tell the story about this candidate. Give a hook, story, lessons learned, and CTA to connect with me with a word of franchise and you basically give it framework, and then it goes with it instead of let it hallucinate and decide on what it is. So I love it. So thank you for that in terms of AI, SEO, and search bar and prompt engineering. So I would say a lot of business owners don't know how this AI is going to affect them. What is the trends in IT right now that you see for business owners, and what are something that we need to take into account in the next, year, 2 or 3 years? When it comes to technologies.
Say that last part again. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
When it comes to like AI and technologies.
So you mentioned a keyword earlier that I wanted to make sure your audience was aware of. You said hallucinate. So AI is not taking drugs. But what AI does do is they sometimes provide the wrong information. And that wrong information could be as simple as a recipe if you're changing a recipe out and you're talking to it to make, cookies, so to speak, and it tells you to put 2 pounds of butter in versus 2 cups of butter, or a quarter cups, or whatever it is. The thing is make sure that you know enough about the topic that you're talking about so you can find the incorrections inside of AI as you're talking to it, because it's not always right. Just because it's on the internet doesn't make it true. Just because it's on Google doesn't make it true. And just because it's an AI definitely does not make it true, because it does make errors, or as other people call, hallucinations. So make sure that whatever you're doing and the output that you're getting, that you're validating with either an attorney or a doctor or whatever, whoever is the specialist in that area, and validate that data with them. In technology, it's being incorporated in every single app that I see out there. I'm just waiting for AI to show up in my sneakers at some point, because it's being incorporated to everything. So
Pretty sure it's
validate
in
the
the
data.
work right now.
What's that?
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's in the work right now.
Okay. I don't know about the sneakers. Your shoelaces are untied. Well, thank you. Can you tie them and have those Back to the Future shoelaces that automatically tie themselves? Which was funny because they actually made a pair of shoes that automatically laced like that. So that is one of the first things I would do. And I would also say, don't be afraid of using AI, because it's coming whether you like it or not. Just like Google took over the world, AI is not taking over the world. They're not taking your jobs. They're going to help you be more creative in your job. They're going to help you, give you some better context. And I'll give you a prime example. I'm in the IT business. I'm not in real estate. I don't know anything about real estate, but I was using some AI. I was asking it some questions. So when I talk to my agent, I talk to my title, I talk to the mortgage company, I sound more informed and more educated about the topic, and I can converse with them. And I don't feel like an idiot when I'm talking to them in person. So leverage AI. Let it be your secret superpower. But don't rely on it 100%, because it does make errors. It does mess up.
Yeah. And I'll say the winners are the one that use an AI, right? Like it won't replace your job. It's just going to make you a better worker. It makes you a better business owner. But for those that don't use it, you will be left behind, unfortunately.
Correct.
Even if you resist on using it, it's kind of like just like the bell curve, right? There's the early adopters that would do whatever, be the first line at iPhone store for iPhone 18. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's like the ones that cannot buy their blueberry. What is it called? Blackberry back in the day.
Blackberry, blueberry. That's
Blueberry. I
cute.
was like, wait, that's a fruit. Now, blackberry anymore. So they have to be forced to buy something else.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't, you don't have to be in these either extreme, kind of towards the beginning, especially as business owners. It's like 3 P's, right? Profit, purpose, passion. Whatever drives your profit, what gives you the purpose, and then giving you passion. So, like with AI, is really about how is it going to help you generate more profits? It's not revenue. I mean, revenue is great, but in the end, how is it going to save you money? And a lot of times, as business owners, we look at our P&L statement and we want to see our revenues minus our expenses, and that's our profit. So if we can lower expenses by using AI, why not? If we can use AI to bring in more revenues, why not? So I tell people, if there's a way of doing it and there's a smarter way of doing it, do it that way.
Exactly. Think about it. So we actually use that AI right now for our marketing. We write a blog article. We use AI to say, what are the top trends in tech news right now? What's happening in the news? Then we would say, we would tell it to help us write an article or write an outline for it. We would write an article, and then we would put it in AI to have it refined, fix any of the corrections. And then we would also then say, okay, now that we've got our blog article and our newsletter, let's go ahead and make a social media post. Let's make a YouTube script and a video so we can talk about it. So it keeps that same idea and allows you to expand those ideas even further. And to your point, it actually saved my marketing person probably about 20 hours a week down to about 5 hours a week. But that actually freed her up to do more other things that we needed to do. So I didn't have to hire more people. So at the end of the day, it's reducing my cost by saving us time, but allows me to then do more within that same amount of time, because we all only have 24 hours a day and we only have 7 days a week. And I haven't found the 8 days a week and the 26 hours a day yet. But my point here is that you will not be replaced by AI, but you will be replaced by somebody using AI, getting more done in less time, and you're going to be left behind. I say that only because look what happened to the telephone book. The telephone book got replaced. Why? Because Google. It was easier for people to find information. So if it's easier for people to do things with AI, it's going to replace whatever was previously or what has been used in the past, which is people doing things the hard way, the old way. And we have to get with it so we can stay cutting edge. We can stay ahead of the pack and we can keep getting things done.
Agree. And then for the remaining few minutes of our show, I want us to be practical, right? So people now
Sure.
like understand, okay, AI is important. Okay, I got to use AI.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, I got you. I'm going to use AI. What are
Cool.
some tools that you use right now in your business? And I'll share mine. Some tools that you're using and why are you using it and for what cases?
Sure. I'm going to pick on Grok, which is part of X. I'm going to pick on Perplexity. I'm using AI Google Studio. I'm also using Gemini, and I'm using ChatGPT, and I'll tell you why for each one of those. Grok pulls information off of Twitter and X. It also does some web searching. Before the rest of them have web search capabilities, Grok was one of the first ones. So it didn't have access to the internet. It couldn't do things about my website. Perplexity I'm sorry, Grok could do that, but the rest of them could not. So Perplexity, while it's great at citing information and resources, did not have access to my website because it wasn't part of its data set. I didn't tell it specifically go search Coulson Technologies. I said, just give me some information about X or about something. So Grok is my go-to because of being able to talk to it. All of them you can now talk to. Grok was also ChatGPT was the first one that did images. Well, now Grok has that. Well, now Perplexity has that. Perplexity is now able to talk to the internet. Perplexity formats things in nice little tab separated files. So if you want to import something into Excel, Grok can't do that. Grok's images aren't as good as ChatGPT. So as I mentioned earlier, try these different platforms to see how they work. I even use Canva to generate some images, but the images are better than Grok, but not as good as ChatGPT. So, and now we have ChatGPT version 5, which now steps it up for everybody else. So now all the other AIs are trying to step up to this one. And then you're going to have Grok, and Grok's going to go higher than this one. So they're all trying to edge out. They're trying to be the Google of AI, and they're in the race to the top. I don't know what the top looks like, but I can tell you is there a feature that you like in one of them, in a couple weeks, you'll probably have that same feature in another one. So play around with them to find out which is the best one.
No, I love that.
Oh, I forgot one more. I want to put Copilot in there. I forgot Microsoft. Microsoft has Copilot. So you can talk to Copilot inside of your Word, Excel, and Outlook documents. I'm now leveraging Copilot in my Outlook email and telling it to rewrite things, making me look like a genius. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I would encourage you to use it. And I like Copilot because we're in the Microsoft camp. Copilot has both the public facing and the private facing. I like the private facing one, which is part of my work organization because it keeps all my data contained. It tells me about my proposals. It tells me about all the stuff stored in my SharePoint sites. So I don't have to go, like before this podcast, I'm like, where's my script to talk about certain key points? I didn't have to do that. I could just say, Copilot, where's my script for this particular instance? And it told me where it was, gave me a link. I clicked on it and it was instantly there. It just saved me 3 minutes. So 3 minutes times how many times a day, times how many days a week. It's that much more of a time saver. So I hope that helped give you a couple of examples of how I'm using it right now. I could go into AI Studio for getting information about YouTube videos, titles, descriptions, key tags, also doing some research on other videos of pulling the transcripts out. And this is a viral video. What made this so popular? So then I can adopt some of the same strategies. These are how I'm using AI today.
And most businesses trying to keep their expenses low, and we talked about this prior to the show. So is AI Studio a pay version? Is there a free versions? Which one of the free versions are really good? Because most people want to dabbles, right? And there's ChatGPT free version is pretty good. I have the plus, but let's start with some free.
I lost your audio.
Uh-oh.
Is that me? Got it.
All right. So what are your top 3
So my top 3 tips. Hold on a second. I'm ready.
So what are your top 3 tips for business owners when it comes to IT?
My top 3 tips, I would say, is to start using it. There was a little bit of a hiccup there. You asked about costs. Each one has a free version of itself. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and the rest of those. Go use those. Ask it questions. If you find that you're getting the results that you want, start using that one a little bit more. Spend a few dollars $5, $10, $20. Probably $20 is good for max. Don't spend $300 or anything crazy like that. Start small on a month-to-month plan and make sure that this AI system is giving you the answers that you want. If not, try the other free versions out there. You might find one that's better for you. That's my tip number one, is because of cost. We always want to keep our costs low, but play around with them because you might find one that you resonate with. For me, it was Grok. I like what the platform stands for and the whole freedom of speech type of thing, and also some of the features that come out. Tip number two, talk to it. And I say talk to it because humans are naturally meant to speak, right? We're meant to talk with each other. So talk to AI, hit that little button and speak to it. And I'll give you a kind of a funny example. I had two different AIs. I had ChatGPT and I had Grok. So I muted my one phone and I asked the other one, I said, why is the sky blue? And then I unmuted the second GPT. So the sky is blue because of molecules in the atmosphere, blah, yada. And then ChatGPT said, yeah, that's great. That kind of reminds me of the dirt in the atmosphere that makes the red sunset. And the other one said about going to Mars. Well, Mars has a similar one because they have dirt in the atmosphere, and it's always red. That's why the planet's red. So it was going back and forth. It was actually very entertaining for me, but it was really cool to see AI interacting with itself, but me being the participant and actually started that conversation. So have fun with it. That's tip number two. Have fun with it. Whatever you're doing, just ask it some random questions. I've seen some videos on YouTube where people go down a dark tunnel. Be careful with that. So just remember, it can hallucinate, it can lie, but have fun with your AI systems until you can start really seeing the power of it. And then you'll start saying, well, I could use this for work. Well, I could use this here. I could use this here. When I first started, I was kind of like the Terminator 2, oh my God, Judgment Day, they're going to take over kind of thing. I am using it multiple times a day throughout the day to make me a better and more productive person. I get more done throughout the day. So you'll start seeing these tips as number two. And what is the third one? The third tip that I can say is embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. Be curious. Understand it's still a new evolving technology. Don't be fearful for your job because it's not going to replace your job directly. Somebody using AI may replace your job. So how about learning a little bit about AI so you're not replaced and you could be that professional? You could be that person that looks like you're getting more done, faster things done, but make sure that you're also validating that data. So those are my top three tips. And in closing, have fun. I mean, why are we all here doing all this work stuff if we're not having fun? So have fun with AI. Be curious. Play around with it. Because I really encourage everyone to play around with AI. I encourage everyone to embrace it because at some point you may need it for something that's more important that you might have no clue about, and you need a second opinion. I'll leave it at that because I know some people are taking their medical records, putting into AI, getting a second opinion from the doctor, and having a better conversation with their doctor. I know two people that have done this, and it's actually worked out well for them. I'm not saying to upload your medical records. Please understand that. I'm saying upload certain things that could be searched or analyzed by AI and help give you a second opinion. And please know I'm not a doctor. I'm not an attorney. Seek professional help. But it's nice to have somebody in your corner reviewing your information in a different light of a different light. Go ahead.
That's great. Thank you for that. And what are some closing comments and how do people find you or just being able to, get more help from you?
So closing comments and how people can find me. I'm at CoulsonTechnologies.com. And anytime anybody wants to sit down and talk about AI, I'm more than happy to talk about AI. You can schedule a free discovery call on there. So that's CoulsonTechnologies.com, just like my last name and technologies. They can also give me a call. I'm based over here in the East Coast, but I service people all over the nation. And I really enjoy public speaking about AI and about technology. I'm a technologist by heart. I love technology and where it's going. I've been there ever since the dial-up days, and I can't wait to see what's around the corner.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. And for those listening, I hope you take one or two things from this and take action today. Whether that exploring different models and just pick one that you really like. You don't have to try out everything, but definitely just try something and let be smart about it, and then use it in your business to drive more revenue and give you more profit. With that, thank you so much for joining us on the ZTZ podcast. Our goal is to bring in additional insights to help you to be successful in your business in the franchise world. Until next time, take care.
Yeah.